All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a game between LittleFrOG and Guagua. LittleFrOG spawning as well, let me get these colors right for you. The pink undead on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Guagua has spawned as the green orc on the bottom left. Interesting start already by Guagua, not going for an early Altar of Storms, going for Burrow first, which normally means a tavern hero. All right, so if it's going to be an Altar of Storms now, yeah, so a little bit of a delay there. It's 40 seconds. I'm not quite sure on the timing on this particular build. I will try and remember to keep a close lookout there. Meanwhile, LittleFrOG opening things up. Altar of Darkness already nearly done. There's that Ziggurat. There's that Crypt. It looks as though LittleFrOG will be opening up a standard game. Apologies for the cough. Apparently, if you guys know what's going on anywhere around Irvine right now, some buildings caught on, or not some buildings, one building caught on fire. One of the largest, or the largest standing wooden structure is caught on fire. If you want an order of size of magnitude, I think they said you can put in 3 football fields in there at the same time, or you can play a game of American football, Europe, or the rest of the world football, and a game of basketball all at the same time, and there would still be room for some more. So yeah, over 1,000 feet long, 17 stories high, and that building burnt down. Building was built in 1942, so now so apparently there's asbestos in the air. Yeah, absolutely lovely. Some of the schools are shut down. For all of you guys who are wondering what I've been up to the past couple of days, just trying to take in all of those things, get things settled, and then my XSplit decided to not launch or work this morning for some strange reason. Anyways, we're looking at Guagua open things up. It looks like it is going to be a tavern hero. A peon is nearby. 2-minute 15-second mark is there. The hero is available, and here we are. Here we go. It is going to be a Goblin Tinker first. All right, so Goblin Tinker fast tech to tier 2. Not your standard run-of-the-mill orthodox strategy whatsoever, and that's well, what's been going on here. What's you been up to? Kids taking care of little casters? Well, I think Wild Striker, you missed my little intro. Definitely check out the intro on YouTube, and once I upload it later. Death Knight now back over here on the top left-hand side of the map. We see Pocket Factory now being placed down. And with that, we're going to see some Clockwork Goblins try to suicide their way, perhaps get some damage on these ghouls. But more importantly, their suicide damage could actually cause some problems. These timed lives could get cleaned up here, as well as the Death Knight still trying to make their way through another second death coil. The Kobold Taskmaster, well, working very hard. There goes one unit getting taken down there, as we now can see the Pocket Factory absorbing some of that damage. Death Knight does not get to level 2 at all. It looks like the Goblin Tinker got some of the experience as well, and with that, the Death Knight of LittleFrOG being forced to retreat back. Guagua opening things up with an unorthodox strategy, causing a bit of problems and disruption, as the Death Knight of LittleFrOG looking to just continue this gameplay, as the Goblin Tinker wants to continue to just try and disrupt. All right, Death Knight down to 300 hit points. No Unholy Aura as of yet. That is a big enough deal. Goblin Tinker runs in to steal the Tome of Intelligence, as we're going to see this Frostwolf get taken down, giving level 2 to the Death Knight. With level 2, the ghouls and the Death Knight do move around much more quickly, and because of that, well, surrounds are now possible against that Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker trying to make his way back over, perhaps going to get disrupted once more. Acolyte has moved on over as well. He wants to summon up a Ziggurat and a Haunted Goldmine. Death Knight now going to try and clear out this creep camp. There's a Rod of Necromancy, as this Kobold Taskmaster, well, should easily get taken down. Pocket Factory going to be rotated off just a little bit, and wow, a beautiful play by LittleFrOG here, using Guagua's own Pocket Factory against him. He was standing too close to the Pocket Factory. He actually cut out one of his own escape mechanisms or escape paths, and because of that, he was forced to use a Scroll of Town portal. All right, Kobold Taskmaster will get taken down here. now still nearly halfway to level 3, as we see a crystal ball also being dropped down. Tech to tier 2 has been completed. You can see the bestiaries are already down, and the barracks also being placed down as well. Warmill also getting that reinforced defenses. Lin Guagua knows that he needs that fortified armor to try and protect, as Lin Guagua now jumps inside here. Does have boots of speed, has a staff of teleportation, still moving around fairly quick, and now going to head off to the north here, perhaps try to place down some pocket factories and take down these buildings before they get up and operational. All right, Ziggurat is getting, well, repaired here while trying to upgrade to a Nerubian tower. Goblin Tinker trying to take down this haunted gold mine, as the Death Knight, now sitting at level 3, will, well, come back and try and defend this expo. It looks as though LittleFrOG should be able to get up this Nerubian tower, and once this Nerubian tower is up, well, the aggression is going to, well, fall off significantly. All right, Ziggurat is now done here. We are going to perhaps see a bit of repairs as well. Clockwork Goblin does a little bit exploding death. Acolyte should be trying to summon up another haunted gold mine, since it doesn't tie up that Acolyte at all. As the Goblin Tinker makes his way back, we're waiting to see what Lin Guagua's long-term strategy is. The first unit that we see that isn't a hero or a peon is actually a Demolisher. All right, no, Troll Bat Riders and Demolishers. Are we going for just mass siege at this point and stage in this game? Nerubian Tower, Clockwork Goblins. All right, the Bat Riders could try to dive in, perhaps get some damage, but there is also a Spirit Tower in addition to this Nerubian Tower, so the Troll Bat Riders are not going to bode or survive very long. Lich is now coming online as well. We are at tier 2, going for Frost Nova, perhaps to try and blast down these Troll Bat Riders out of the sky. Is this a liquid fire strategy? That may be the case, and here we are, here we go. The Ziggurats here, not upgraded at all. Coming back across, where is the Goblin Tinker? That I do not know. We're looking at the Haunted Gold Mine, taking a little bit of damage here. Could easily be repaired, as we could look at a Ziggurat getting upgraded to Spirit Tower as well. Down to the south side here, well, there's more Demolishers getting trained up. Do we see liquid fire? No. Where is everything going down? We see a Goblin Shredder getting trained up here. As repairs are underway, Lich is going to come on over, perhaps get some nice Frost Nova, get a blast down, and try and take down these Troll Bat Riders. Unorthodox play by Lin Guagua. LittleFrOG, well, should be able to handle this with little to no problems. As we see the Goblin Zeppelin pick up the Demolishers, we're going to get some repairs. Well, repairs on the Goblin Zeppelin. For a second, I thought he was repairing the Goblin Tinker. The Goblin Tinker is nowhere near level 6. That should not be able to happen. We could be looking at a liquid fire rush. Yeah, I thought that was going to be the case, but we didn't see liquid fire during those earlier engagements here, as the Goblin Tinker now on the ground and moving off to the north, perhaps to try and put down pressure on this haunted gold mine. Meanwhile, we're looking at LittleFrOG playing a much more traditional game, but still doesn't have any obsidian statues here, so nothing to really keep this army together, as the Death Knight and the Lich will definitely want that extra bit of mana. All right, what's happening here? Oh, what is this? This is clearing out difficult creep camps while being protected. Goblin Zeppelin in position here, allowing this Granite Golem creep camp to be cleared out by just 2 Demolishers. Goblin Tinker now sitting at level 2 and could actually get to level 3 and perhaps surprise the Death Knight and the Lich. Unorthodox creeping strategy. This is the first set of creep camps I think the Goblin Tinker is going for. And remember, he is at tier 2 by his lonesome self, so he does get 15% bonus experience. All right. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability also picked up here. There is the Lich. We're looking for that Forest Troll Warlord. Are we going to see some sort of way to try and take down that Forest Troll Warlord? The Goblin Tinker trying to get the last hit in there. However, invisibility does not equal Windwalk. And without Windwalk, well, the Goblin Tinker is unable to get right next to it. All right, Death Knight. Down to 194 hit points, getting a little bit of heals. Units still wandering back around here as the Demolisher is looking to finish off this dire Frost Wolf. Goblin Tinker could make his way over and just pick up the item that is currently sitting there. Come on, a little bit of damage. There's that Helm of Valor being picked up, and now perhaps going to try and move on its merry way. Troll Bat Rider there, Spirit Towers there as well. We're looking at 39 supply compared to 43. Army sizes are, or total population size is fairly comparable to each other, as the Goblin Tinker going to finish off this Dire Frost Wolf here. So there's that Bestiary, or the Bestiary trading up some of those Wind Riders as well to try and finish those things off. All right, Dire Frostwolf getting taken down, a little bit of additional gold. Troll Bat Rider off to the side here, and LittleFrOG doesn't seem to be phased. He's playing his game, and he knows that something is definitely, he's not going to get a straightforward game. So he's going for this very defensive. What do you have in store for me? I have base defense. How is this all going to unfold? Wind Rider's now coming online here. Goblin Tinker going to go ahead and take out this Kobold Geomancer creep camp. And we could be looking at, well, there's some watchtowers. Yeah, triple watchtowers here. Perhaps a tiny Great Hall will be placed down later, and that will be a very, very effective defensive location. All right, Goblin Tinker going to go ahead and heal back up with those healing salves, moving on his merry way. Is this a strategy that can be done again? Yes, it is. Using the high ground here once more to go after the Granite Golem creep camp. The Death Knight gonna quickly, well, clean up all of these peons, force a cancellation on those 4 watchtowers there. That is not going to give any sort of level up, but it is in fact also buying time for Lin Guagua's dual Demolisher in the hills strategy. All right. Voodoo Lounge does have spiked barricades, so this mass ghoul strategy of trying to take down this Voodoo Lounge is simply not going to work. They do deal decent damage, but more damage could be reflected back to them. Death Knight gets a Death Coil off. Goblin Tinker does sit at level 4. Goblin Tinker also holding on to a tiny Great Hall, as the Goblin Tinker now makes his way back off to the north here. All right, we're looking at the Granite Golem about to get taken down. Once that Granite Golem is down, Mantle of Intelligence going to get cleaned up. The Wind Riders can just make their way over and continue to poke apart as well, perhaps giving level 5 to that Goblin Tinker, who is already at Stronghold. All right, Goblin Tinker now finally makes his way over. Goblin Tinker wants that item. Wind Riders are right there. We're going to see what is that item. It is Warsong Battle Drums. Not necessarily the item he wanted, but it is still worth a decent amount of gold. The Death Knight quickly going to be scouting this out, and the Death Knight perhaps wondering how exactly did Lin Guagua clear out of this creep camp. He'll probably be studying this replay later. Watchtowers have been placed down here. Tiny Great Hall most likely to follow. Healing Salve, healing up that Goblin Tinker, and healing up some of those Wind Riders as well. I do not see Envenom Spears yet. We'll have to take a close, or keep a close lookout for that as well, as we are looking at a Scroll of Town Portal picked up, holding onto those Warsong Battle Drums, at least for now, as the Lich now comes across here and may be able to get down a couple of Frost Novas. All right, Lin Guagua doesn't have a very large army. There goes a tiny Great Hall. Ghouls are coming across here. The spiked barricades do definitely help now, as the Ghouls are trying to take down some of these buildings. Peons are now making their way back over. There's a big Frost Nova, 40 supply compared to 61. Definitely larger army for the Undead, as the Dreadlord now coming online. All right, Ghouls are getting taken out or losing hit points because of the spiked barricades. Goblin Tinker now sitting at level 5. Wind Riders are going to get finished off here, as the Watchtower is now up and operational. Perhaps we're going to be seeing some repairs. The peons, for some reason, not repairing. They're finally getting some repairs going, and the Watchtower may be able to hold, as we are seeing, another peon about to get taken down here. More poking back and forth. Crypt Fiend trying to head back away. Goblin Tinker doesn't have any easy way of taking down that Death Knight, who is down to 130 hit points. There is another Pocket Factory here. Dreadlord could try and go for a carry-on swarm, at least finish off one of the peons here, as an Acolyte now shows up to the party as well. Additional peons building up watchtowers here, and this is going to be a very well fortified base defense, as we now see Demolishers in the trees. All right. This is the strategy. Demolishers in the trees. We can see some Pocket Factory here. Goblin, Zeppelin, trying to move these Demolishers into position as we see meat wagons also being brought into play as well. This is absolutely beautiful. Great positioning for these meat wagons to try and defend against this onslaught of damage. Meanwhile, Dreadlord has come to the party, may end up taking a little bit of damage, now being forced to try and retreat back. No rockets at all, as the Demolishers are looking to take down this Haunted Gold Mine. Haunted Gold Mine is under a bit of repair, but it is not going to be able to stay alive. All right, the Demolisher could just attack ground in this location and perhaps take down some of these Demolishers here. The Peons are trying to repair, as we're looking at the Dreadlord sitting at level 1, Lich at level 3. Unorthodox strategy, unorthodox strategy coming across from these players. Death Knight wants to pick up that potion of greater mana. There it goes, as the Necropolis is now going to get cleaned up here. All of these high ridge locations actually causing for a bit of cheese, in fact, as the Demolishers could drop here temporarily, try to open up a clearing, and then make its way around the back as well. All right, in comes the Undead army onto this expo. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Voodoo Lounge gets completed in time, as the Goblin Tinker still has Pocket Factory and now going to try to crank out some of these Clockwork Goblins. Voodoo Lounge, 39/62. Goblin Tinker trying to set up more buildings here, as the, quad towers are working quite a bit here, with 3 more towers now getting added up, septuple in terms of these towers, as Carrion Swarm also while trying to take down some of these peons. Death Knight, there's a 400 burst heal there. Death Knight still sitting at level 4, not yet at level 5 by definition of being at level 4, and with that only a 400 hit point heal. More Carrion Swarms ripping through, not really going for the cluster of peons down to the south, as the stationary static defense not able to hold up against this large army of undead units with obsidian statues acting as support. All right, Dreadlord down to 50, down to 20 hit points. Could get taken down. Gets a death coil in time, as the units are still fighting their way through. A lot of watchtowers in the back. Perhaps a Voodoo Lounge could be placed down as well, as the Death Knight says, you know what, let me help you clear up some creep camps. Demolishers now going after some of the crypts here. And are we looking just purely at Demolishers, Wind Riders, and just a bunch of watchtowers here? That seems to be the case. Repairs could be getting underway, and there it is now. Demolisher is going to take down some of those crypts, and with that, the production buildings could be in a little bit of trouble. Acolytes are on massive repair, but that is causing a bit of gold drainage as well. Meanwhile, the Death Knight and these Crypt Fiends continuing to put pressure here at the expo, and this is a tough spot for LittleFrOG. He knows that he cannot allow this expo to give Lin Guagua all of this additional income, but at the same time, he needs to defend against the onslaught and the pressure that is currently being placed down. Crypt Fiends trying to make their way over. There is a new expo now being placed down here at the center location, so he's trying to gain equality, as the Death Knight about to get to level 5. Level 5 on the Death Knight, level 2 on the Dreadlord, level 3 on the Lich. No, Death Knight gonna be 2 experience shy as they teleport back to the main base. All right, there's a quick web right there. Peons could easily get cleaned up. Demolishers trying to take down some of these obsidian statues in the back. Demolishers do have a fairly slow attack rate as they retreat back here. All right, Goblin Tinker gonna try and dive on in. There's the Nerubian Tower. There's a Pocket Factory. There's some massive repairs, and there's 1 tower down already. All right, Demolishers trying to go after the Haunted Gold Mine still. Lin Guagua trying to continue to build up on that economic advantage, and it looks like, he's holding a bunch of gold and finally taking down this Haunted Gold Mine again. Death Knight did hit level 5, 600 hit point burst heals now available, as LittleFrOG is just still playing his game. He has a larger army by far. He's able to do a good amount of damage, and he knows that since the Goblin Tinker is almost playing this solo hero play, the Dreadlord with a sleep could cause some serious troubles. That's going to force a Scroll of Town portal right there, as the Goblin Tinker had nothing available to try and wake it up. All right, Death Knight making his move back across here. Watchtower is going to get taken down easily. Lich already at level 4 does now have Dark Ritual. Dreadlord still sitting at level 2. Death Knight perhaps, well, trying to figure out what this follow-up play is going to be. Lin Guagua Lin Guagua's still playing that similar strategy, building up more Wind Riders, building up some Demolishers, and now going for more Watchtowers here at this Center Expo, trying to take that center gold expansion. All right, Goblin Tinker coming back across here. Goblin Tinker sees that this gold mine is not currently being mined out and knows, hey, if you're not being mined out, that means I'm still building up an economic advantage. However, when is that gold advantage going to turn into an on-the-field advantage? That is the question now. There's a Staff of Teleportation inbound. Watchtower now back. One Orc Burrow. There's cluster rockets, and there's the stun that I was expecting. Goblin Tinker, however, actually stuck between a Watchtower and a bunch of trees. He has nowhere to go. He can try and cluster rockets a little bit more, get in more stuns, but I believe LittleFrOG recognized Lin Guagua's, well, sort of mistake. The Obsidian statues are going to be able to heal this back up very easily. Dreadlord sitting at level 2. Death Knight should be purposely backing away, get that Dreadlord to level 3, get that Lich to level 5, as Demolishers are still pushing into the main base here pretty much unopposed. Demolishers, very much glass cannons, cannot defend themselves, but LittleFrOG hasn't been bringing out units to actually engage against these Demolishers here at all. Perhaps starting to crack underneath all of this pressure. Goblin Tinker, well, gonna fall asleep at the job, gonna wake up, quickly realize that it needs to perhaps Scroll of Town Portal back out as more Watchtowers are being placed down. Death Knight in position here, gonna take down these Watchtowers while they are being constructed. Cancellation of going across the board. Crypt Fiend's trying to finish off as the Goblin Tinker does have a healing salve, and there is some more cluster rockets trying to just stun them down so that the Watchtowers can deal their damage. All right, waiting for the cooldown. Another round of cluster rockets should be inbound here. Demolishers are there as well, and there is that cluster rocket stun as the Dreadlord down to 100 hit points gets burst healed back up again. All right, Dreadlord, Goblin Tinker going to continue to try and burst down those units. That AoE stun opening up the Watchtower and the Orc Burrows to deal more damage, finally starting to take a bit of a toll. Lin Guagua still sitting on 1,000 gold. Same can be true for LittleFrOG, who is currently supply blocked at 60 over 60. Goblin Tinker, there's another round of cluster rockets right there. A little bit of stunning slow as the Obsidian statues try to retreat to the back again. Do we have an expo here? No, we do not. Lin Guagua saying, you know what? Thank you for clearing out that expo. I can now build up even more here as well. And let me just try to mine from every single gold mine possible. This gold mine finally getting haunted once more. As you can see, these Crypt Fiends finally taking a decent amount of damage, being forced to retreat back and healed back up. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 5, nearing level 6, can go for Robo Goblin. There are Wind Riders out and about. Crypt Fiends were, I believe, able to take down that last Demolisher here. Main gold mines have both been destroyed, as the Goblin Tinker still trying to test the waters. All right, a couple of Watchtowers quickly getting canceled right there. Demolishers in position. Goblin Tinker could easily just get off some more some more cluster rockets there. Some big damage. Demolisher getting in some damage. They're trying to finish things off here. There's some liquid fire as well. That's going to be a little bit of damage over time. You got to be careful, as the Demolisher was trying to be saved, unable to back up. All right, meanwhile, though, Dreadlord sitting at level 2, we see more damage getting racked in from all of those those rockets here, as the Wind Riders are still poking their way through. Are we going to see another round of cluster rockets? No. Asleep on the Goblin Tinker. Wind Rider needs to get woken up. There is one Crypt Fiend finally getting taken down as the Dreadlord gets up to level 3. Dreadlord now at level 3, able to use that Carrion Swarm effectively against those peons. There's another round of rockets. That is a bunch of very low hit point units together, as the Goblin Tinker could try and finish off some of these units. We're going to see some cluster rockets take down some Obsidian statues and give level 6 to the Tinker. All right, level 6 of the Tinker, perhaps going to turn into Robo Goblin. Yes, there's that Robo Goblin, more hit points, fortified. Armor type is still hero. I thought it actually got like a little bit of fortified type, or does he just turn mechanical? He's just mechanical now, so he cannot be targeted by Death Coil or Frost Nova. All right, how's that for a weird strategy to try and deal with Death Knight? You feel that Death Coil Frost Nova is too strong against your heroes? Just make yourself immune to that. All right, Goblin Tinker now trying to bash down these buildings here. There's a quick stun. All of the Crypt Fiends, however, popping up out of the ground, and suddenly Guagua realizes how much surrounded he is. Goblin Tinker down to 109 hit points, gonna try and retreat back out, but the Crypt Fiend that was traveling alongside him has been taken down as well. 1,200 gold. Goblin Tinker back at home here, gonna be using a healing salve, leaving the healing salve on the ground here. Gonna try and heal back up. Perhaps he can get repaired if he goes back into that Robo Goblin position as more watchtowers are being placed down here. All right, very well. All your gold mines belong to me, or all your bases belong to me, as the Goblin Tinker really doesn't have to worry about Death Coil Frost Nova. That is the reason why the Goblin Tinker can actually move forward in this spot and say, come on, Death Knight, come on, Lich, what are you gonna do? All right, Shade actually getting into a little bit of trouble there. Peons could try and go for a bunch of repairs. There's the auto repair, but it's first on to the Goblin Tinker, who is regenerating a decent amount of hit points. All right, Carrion Swarm ripping through some of those peons there. Goblin Tinker trying to make his way back forward. This is a Demolisher battle, but it's the Goblin Tinker's stuns that perhaps could tip things in favor of the Demolishers over the Meat Wagons, as the Meat Wagons are temporarily just standing around doing nothing. All right, Goblin Tinker still trying to test the waters here. There is some Meat Wagons lobbing from over the tree line, as we're still seeing some engagements go down here. Meat Wagon down to 141 hit points. Goblin Tinker needs to get repaired, needs something going on, as he is finally low on hit points, able to use a potion of healing, as a peon perhaps going to try and get in some repairs here. Goblin Tinker, is he, well, what's going to happen here? Goblin Zeppelin overhead. Goblin Tinker going to get in a round of rocket shots here. Acolytes are in the back. Watchtowers are all in position, and in comes the Demolishers. One quick volley, four shots from those Demolishers, and suddenly all of these Crypt Fiends could get taken down very quickly. All right, there goes some more damage getting lobbed in. All of those units are trying to retreat back. There goes another Crypt Fiend. There's a Carrion Swarm. Goblin Tinker down to 160 hit points, trying to retreat back, as these Demolishers are getting elevated, picked up, and dropped back off. Goblin Tinker holding steady down to 97 hit points. How is he still alive? Down to 86 as he retreats back here and hides behind these buildings. There's a Carrion Swarm that could, if it was actually directed towards the Goblin Tinker, could have finished it off, as the Demolisher is able to lob in more attacks again. All right, this gold mine still has plenty of gold. This gold mine still has plenty of gold, and plenty of gold in the center. Are still 9,700 gold for the undead LittleFrOG, trying to hold off this attack. The Crypt Fiends burrowing themselves to try and gain a little bit more additional hit points. And, well, if the Death Knight knew that there was other gold mines to be had, perhaps he would have gone to other places. Goblin Zeppelin going to go ahead and pick up the lower hit point units there. Goblin Tinker now back out onto the battlefield, searching around, trying to hunt, deal more damage. We see the war song battle drums and 3-1 upgrades for these Demolishers. Still, as more repairs could be in store for the Goblin Tinker. All right, more watchtowers being placed down as well, and Autumn Leaves 2.0 is just looking like a bit of a cheese map for Orc, being able to place watchtowers on these strange islands that are out in the middle of nowhere, making it difficult to even try and take them down. What on earth is this match? It's really strange. You're right, Red Warrior. How much gold is required to repair the Goblin Tinker? So I don't know what the repair rate is on the Goblin Tinker. I know that in the past, repairs are like a percentage of the starting hit points, right? So there's a bit of that. The higher the Goblin Tinker has on hit points, the better the repair rate would be. But I don't know what it costs to actually repair a Goblin Tinker. Carry on Swarm ripping through once again. There's a round of, well, there was another round of more rockets. I don't know where my overlay went. I'm sorry, but here, more stunning coming across here. Goblin Tinker almost able to take down the Dreadlord before a Death Coil comes across. More Meat Wagons going to get absolutely destroyed, just getting lobbed over, webbing down all of these Crypt Fiends to try and stop the elevator play as the Goblin Zeppelin does get shot down. Meanwhile, Demolishers are getting destroyed here. Death Knight about to get taken down. Scroll of Town Portal trying to outbound. Again, there's another round of cluster rockets. Peons getting taken out, as that is that. All right, let's see if I can get my overlay back right now. Let's see if it jumps on in. All right, still about 5.5 minutes of mining on the bottom left. Okay, new overlay perhaps. Even the overlay doesn't quite know how to show what is going on in this game. Demolisher is going to go ahead and jump inside the Goblin Zeppelin here. LittleFrOG, if I remember, LittleFrOG is an up-and-coming WarCraft 3 player out of China. So LittleFrOG is still a strong player, and sometimes you have to be able to play these off-the-wall strategies. If you don't know how to deal with these off-the-wall strategies, then you really don't. Well, if you don't know how to deal with these off-the-wall strategies, it often means that your main game, your meta-style play, isn't strong enough. Otherwise, off-the-wall strategies would become the main source and main style of play. Goblin Zeppelin continuing to elevator all of these Demolishers, trying to take down all of these buildings. There goes another round of cluster rockets, trying to rack up more damage, and, well, splash more damage as well. So will it become Big Frog in the future? Don't know about that. There goes one Crypt Fiend. The Demolisher is still dropping the hammer literally on these Meat Wagons as the Demolishers are looking to take down the Black Citadel. Black Citadel does get bursted down here. Goblin Zeppelin, however, not nearby as the Altar of Darkness is now under a bit of distress. All right, one more volley or from multiple sources could have taken down the Altar of Darkness, but the Crypt Fiends and Ghouls were there. All right, Robo Goblin makes his way over, now looking to take down this Haunted Gold Mine. The Goblin Tinker able to deal quite a bit of damage to this Haunted Gold Mine as he teleports back out. All right, instead, going to teleport into the fight here in order to take down that Altar of Darkness. The Acolytes were trying to repair the Altar of Darkness. Well, nothing a bunch of rockets wouldn't be able to handle. All right. Another round of cluster rockets there trying to finish things off. Goblin Tinker down to 250 hit points. Will be forced to teleport back out. He's teleported back over here to the top left. Not quite sure why he chose this location. Well, nope. I know exactly why he chose this location. This spot has a bunch of peons ready to repair this Goblin Tinker, and it is close and ready for action again. A Shade now making its way over. And, well, the Shade is keeping track of this expo, realizing, well, how Guagua has been able to hold so much gold. 2,600, 2,700 gold right now. More damage being added in here. Where is that Goblin Tinker going to try to go off to next? As the Demolisher could rack in more damage again. Obsidian statues in the back trying to keep this army together, but that will be the end of it. Guagua with a bit of manner play here against LittleFrOG. I guess going for that early Goblin Tinker and just, well, being able to get that Goblin Tinker super strong. And in this situation, this scenario, a level 7 Goblin Tinker plus a lot of base defense, enough to overcome the Death Knight and the Lich, mainly because that Goblin Tinker was immune to Death Coil and Frost Nova. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Here are the final scores.